Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, Colt Cabana is back in AEW.
Jeff Jarrett is all elite. Yes, you heard me right. Jeff Jarrett is all elite.
A frankly insane Orange Cassidy match has been booked for Rampage.
And CM Punk's got the wrestling bug again.
What are we doing?
What is going on? I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is going to be a very quiet news.
Yeah, I mean, that was literally the most unhinged episode of Dynamite of all time, wasn't it? And you can hear more about that on the podcast.
Yes, ups and downs with Miller coming later on today.
Michael Hamflett doing the written version. But man, like, lots of stuff happened, good or bad, in between, however you rate it, however you view it.
I don't know. I don't know
either. I think I'm going to have to watch it again because it turned my brain into scrambled egg.
Yes.
And one of the reasons for that was Colt Cabana showed up. Well, I never. So, basically, Chris Jericho, mystery match, former Ring of Honor champion, that was the deal, that was the gimmick. He set that up last week after him and Daniel Garcia lost to Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli. Jericho was pissed and he was like, you know what, I'm going to put my belt up against a former Ring of Honor champion. They did that for the week. They were like, who could it be? Blah, blah, blah. Jericho, blah, 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 blah. It was Colt Cabana, wasn't it? It was Colt Cabana. He got a big pop. They were in Baltimore, weren't they?
Yes.
Home of the Bastards. Home of the Baltimore Bastards. Favorite NFL team. But he came out, he was clearly very emotional.
Yeah.
Understandably so. He got some nice chance. He wrestled Chris Jericho in a losing effort for the Ring of Honor Championship. He qualified as a former Ring of Honor champion because he's a two-time tag team champion. And who was his tag team partner? You know who.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, obviously this is bigger than just a guy returning to TV.
Mm-hmm.
This was Cabana's first Dynamite match since the 24th of November, 2021. He has wrestled exclusively, well, as far as like Tony Khan stuff goes, he did some of the gaming stuff, but like... the cruise. He did the Jericho cruise, didn't he? And he also wrestled a couple of matches in the Ring of Honor revival, all of that stuff. But obviously, he started fading away from view in Ring of Honor, in AEW, when CM Punk came into the company last August. That led to all kind of talk, rumors and stuff about potentially the issues between him and Punk being the result of him not being on TV. Tony Khan has denied previously that Punk had anything to do with Cabana.
I mean, come on now.
Yep, no comment. And, you know, now he's back. Punk obviously on his way out of AEW, talks over a contract buyout. Now Colt Cabana's back. I mean, look, you can put 2 and 2 together here and get everything from 4 to 28 to 69 to 474. Nice. Like, people are going to be going nuts with this, understandably so. I've been going nuts with it in my own head. I will say, at the end of all of this, political stuff aside, I thought it was nice to see Colt Cabana having a nice time on TV because you could see that this meant a lot to him.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. It was just nice to see how clearly emotional he was, and it just nice to see him back in the wrestling ring, to be perfectly honest. A losing effort, of course, but still, that Superman pin of his, I don't know why I pop every time he does it.
It's so smooth.
Yeah.
It's a fun move.
And speaking of pops, I just thought, this is hilarious that this is happening right now. Let's just, I don't know, I'm trying to control the comment section. I was going to say, let's just let this be a thing, but why do I even try?
Yeah, I mean, we'll be talking about Punk in our final story and in our questions as well, so we'll save him for later.
Circling back to that, well, switching gears somewhat now. Jeff Jarrett's all elite. Jeff Jarrett is, Jeff Jarrett. So, to run through... I will get to what happened on AEW in a second.
Was he like director of business development or something?
So this year, Jeff Jarrett has worked the biggest show in GCW's history.
Yep.
Ric Flair's last match.
Yep.
He's refereed at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And now he's all elite. He's working backstage, but he also may well be working full gear.
He is the biggest worker of all time. He never loses.
No.
Never loses. Even when you think, when Jeff Jarrett gets fired and you think he's down, Jeff Jarrett's never down, baby.
Yes.
Here we go.
He certainly knows how to make an impact. His words, not mine. He showed up last night in the midst of following the Darby Allin Jay Lethal match. He was his last Outlaw character. Darby Allin got twatted with a guitar, of course. He's aligned himself with Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh. And Tony Khan also revealed he is going to be working as AEW's Director of Business Development. Jarrett, subsequent to that, tweeted that he was looking forward to things to come, both in front of and behind the camera. This is bloody bonkers.
Yeah, this is completely out of control. What a weird start to Dynamite last night. I was sitting down to watch it, as I do every Thursday morning, 5 o'clock or whatever, really early, fever dream stuff. Watch a really fun match with Jay Lethal and Darby Allin. The Satnam Singh spot was...
Oh yeah, that was great.
What a pop, man. Fun. Then we get the secret Sting guy. It's Cole Carter, and I was
so
like,
is he reincarnated as Cole Carter now? Sting's Cole Carter.
Sting is Stacks is the conclusion of all this. In the moment I was like, why? No disrespect to Cole Carter or whatever, but completely out of nowhere. And then I saw the Twitter joke about how like Jeff Jarrett had drawn 2 dimes, and I was like, okay, I mean that's quite funny to be fair. But then Jeff Jarrett showed up, and initially I was like, what? I felt like dribbles of brain coming out my ear. I listened to that promo about making an impact, and I was like, oh no. But then Michael Hamflett was like, hey man, they're gonna do Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett versus Sting and Darby, and I was like, okay, that's gonna be fun. And look, here's the thing about Jeff Jarrett as well, right? Before he was let go by WWE when Triple H came to power and all this stuff, but he was running their live events previous to that, in the months leading up to that, and live event business was up. He was doing a good job. Now you obviously
Clash of the Castle do 8 million or something.
900 gazillion, but like live attendances were up. Over that period. Now you obviously can't attribute that entirely to Jeff Jarrett. There's good stuff going on in WWE that obviously draws.
Thanks, Papa H.
But he's got a kind of good track record. Look, I love Jeff Jarrett.
Yes.
I love Jeff Jarrett. He's the ultimate worker. Any concern that I might have expressed there was purely from a storyline standpoint. What a ride.
Yes, it bonkers all this. As I said, we'll delve more into it on the AEW Dynamite review. But Andy, right, before this Dynamite, I think it was Alvarez tweeted, something big's going to happen on Dynamite, right? So we've got the return of Colt Cabana, we've got Jeff Jarrett as All Elite, and that might not have been the big thing.
Because, well, Shibata.
Because Shibata was in there and he's wrestling on Friday.
What is this? This is... I'm still unpacking all of this, right? So, Orange Cassidy last night defended the All-Atlantic Championship against Rey Fénix and Luchasaurus. He beat Rey Fénix, he pinned him, retained the belt, blah, blah, blah. Pac, who'd wanted Rey Fénix to use the hammer, afterwards got in the ring and he was menacing and he was going to hammer.
I'm going to beat the peace pudding. I'm going to beat...
Peace pudding everywhere. Who saved him? Naturally, obviously, it was Shibata. So, Shibata comes down, Pac bailed.
Cassidy, as you would.
Exactly. Cassidy had done the gimmick before the match where he was like, I've got this open contract for Friday, I'll defend it on Rampage if I win here. Shibata pointed at the contract, they signed it. Shibata's wrestling Cassidy on Rampage? What the hell? So there's so much of this that's completely wild and out of control. One, it's Shibata's third match, only his third match since almost dying in the ring when he wrestled Okada in a great match in 2017. He suffered, I never get this right, a subdermal hematoma, and in his own words, he was given a 20% chance of living from that, right? So he slots into this new role as the lead trainer at the LA dojo. It's great. He's like helping the next generation of wrestlers. Then he wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. last year, and it was like the most euphoric thing in New Japan all year. He wrestled his young wrestling son, Ren Narita. That was his last match at Wrestle Kingdom this past year. He obviously assisted Cassidy at Forbidden Door in June. He put the shades on.
Yeah.
The idea being that this stoic head-kicking badass wearing the shades, it's funny. Now they're having a match. And you know what? The craziest thing about this is, low-key, the segment then transformed. The segment then transformed into Rick Ross.
Yeah, sorry, anyway, enough of this. Backstage with Rick Ross hanging out with Swerve. What? Also, and Rick Ross wasn't just stood there going, I'm just going to have some champers with Swerve, you can cut a promo. He was like, accusations! He was amazing!
How is it that rappers are instantly amazing at this? Action Bronson, Rick Ross, Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I think Rick Ross should beat MJF for the title. Is that weird?
I mean, Rick Ross has aligned himself with Swerve and Keith Lee. We're getting Rick Ross versus Daddy Ass Brother. What? I love Cabana. This match will be like a crazy contrast in styles and all of that stuff. I don't know why it's happening on Rampage, but maybe it's.
Do you want to watch this? Where it's on a show no one watches.
Maybe it's an attempt at getting people to watch this.
Yeah, well, at least they're trying.
I can't criticize them for that because they need to do more of that. This rules.
Yeah, you and I both hate the fact that it's November 3rd and you look everywhere and people are like, when's the Christmas lights going up? Can we play Mariah Carey yet? But for once, I'll allow it because Christmas came early last night for both Michael Hamblett and Michael Sidgwick with these stories.
Yeah.
But anyway, on a slow news day, Andy,
we haven't even covered like the WWE stuff. What the hell?
CM Punk's got the wrestling bug again. Now, I will caveat this because who bloody knows what the truth is. Because literally, 2 days ago, Nick Houseman reported sources close to Punk saying that he's never going to step foot in a wrestling ring again. Now, a source close to Punk, has said he's got the wrestling bug again, and maybe after his non-compete, presumably within AEW, has expired, and he's recovered from that injury he suffered All Out, he could return. Plus, Fightful Select have now learned that WWE, or a source within WWE, went, we wouldn't mind having him back, you know. Can this year get any madder?
Summarising my thoughts on the CM Punk situation. Not going to go over what happened at All Out.
Nope.
Wrong was done on certain sides. I hope there's a place for CM Punk in wrestling again, right? Purely from a fan perspective, not speaking as locker room chemistry. Actually, we'll talk about that in a question. Purely from a fan perspective, I have loved his comeback run. I sincerely hope that he finds somewhere in wrestling after all of this is blown over where he can do his craft, because I love watching him. Maybe it'll blow up again, but I'm going to have fun watching the actual work, as I have done in AEW this past year.
I am not ready for CM Punk and wrestling to be over yet.
Same.
I'm completely with you. But for now, let's move on. Twitter can suck it today, Andy.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think him going back to WWE is very healthy for a multitude of reasons, but
I would rule it out.
Let's go to the YouTube community. This is where we got our questions from. I wouldn't rule it out either, is the thing. Let's go to our YouTube community.
Yeah, we're going to change it up on Thursdays going forward, aren't we?
Every day, whatever, we'll pick the
whenever
day.
we remember.
Yeah, whenever my brain works, which it didn't really today, so I'm glad I actually put the thread up last night. But yes, check out our YouTube community page. We will be engaging with that a little bit more, trying to get some questions from there. We're not abandoning you, Twitter. Don't worry.
No.
We still love you.
I did tell it to suck it a minute ago. I do apologise.
Yeah, but not everyone, like David Wallace, put it in your socket and your socket! Love The Office. What was I going to say? Yeah, like we just sometimes want to get some stuff from our friends who don't use Twitter.
Yes.
Which isn't everyone. And I don't blame them because Twitter is something else. But yes.
I will not be paying $8. I'll just say that right now.
No, me neither. Unless you replace the blue tick with an alligator emoji.
I'm going to get rat verified today. I saw that trending yesterday.
Wrap me up, daddy.
You're eel verified, aren't you?
I am. I'm really good. Right, Dark Returns has been on, and I think this is a really interesting question that allows us to explore a bunch of different aspects of this matter. Loved CM Punk's year in AEW. However, say it was up to the fans to vote if CM Punk stays or goes, which way would you vote? They say that as much as I loved last year, the amount of chaos and friction he causes may not be worth it. What do you reckon?
This all depends on how much I can control Phil, I suppose. And not our Phil. I mean, CM Punk.
I know two Phils and they're both chick magnets.
Because I do want to see him wrestle again in AEW. I feel like, you know, you hear about guys like, I think Hobbs was saying it and quite a few, Darby Allin said it as well, about how much of a great person he was to have around and talk to. Obviously, certain people, certain groups aren't too keen on that. So I'd have them have locker rooms probably at the opposite end of each arena with separate entrances and no interaction, and probably that means CM Punk can't really do much title stuff. Yeah. But I just think he's so beneficial for the younger guys, and there's so many dream matches I want to see, and maybe, just maybe, Andy, if we all work really hard and cross absolutely everything, we could eventually get CM Punk versus Kenny Omega. I don't think we're going to, but it's a dream match that for a while was more than just a graphic someone made on Twitter.
I have two perspectives.
Yes.
I have the devil on my shoulder and the angel on my shoulder. The fan perspective, me as a wrestling fan, yeah, I want him to stay, man.
Yes.
Like, I thought this year was so sick. Like, the MJF feud is my feud of the year. And they were going to come back to
my
that.
favourite feud in AEW history.
Boom, there you go. And I think that's easy to justify.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed most of what he did. The vast majority. I wouldn't have done that stuff with a quick title change from Moxley, but that's a different matter. I thought all of his big matches delivered. A couple of slips here and there. No one's ever has a
mainly off
year.
the top rope attempting a...
Yeah, maybe not do that again. But yeah, no, I love watching CM Punk. So from a fan, hell yeah, bring him home. Bring him home. But
I think I'm with you on the second part.
From analysing the business side of this and the chemistry side of this and what has happened in the locker room, I would vote no ultimately, because I don't think that the situation between him and the Elite is tenable. The investigation seems to have revealed, decreed that most of the wrongdoing was on Punk's side, although there's probably a bit on both sides.
Yeah.
I've not taken a side in this, and I won't, because I am not interested in that argument.
And we weren't there, so...
But I think the best thing for all parties, for Punk as well, man, he's probably not going to be happy sticking around hanging out with those dudes, as they're not going to be with him. It's probably best to go their separate ways. I hope he gets a fat payoff, and I hope he finds a place in wrestling, because we're a pro worker on this channel.
Yeah.
Don't simp for billionaires. They don't care about you. They don't like you. I mean, Punk probably doesn't either, to be fair. But I like him, so there you go. That's my answer.
Nick Hausman's got sources. Sean Ross Sapp's got sources. I've got a source, by the way, that tells me that CM Punk's new job, WhatCulture Comics.
Oh, so. we do need a creative lead.
Not my words.
Bring him in. Does he like comics? Is he a comic guy?
Yeah, didn't he make one for a while?
That's right. AJ's involved in that stuff as well, isn't she? Let's get them in.
Lee.
Get them both in.
Let's get AJ Lee back in the building.
Yeah, she's doing.
Oh, you're doing
wow,
yeah,
baby.
Of course.
It's all good. It's all good. Right. Our second question comes from William Battle, Big Bill. He's been on asking, with it being a roller coaster of a year in the world, these questions rule.
They're great
With it
questions.
being a roller coaster of a year in the world of wrestling, what is currently your personal vote for the biggest news story of the year? I mean, for me, the biggest is Vince McMahon.
It's Vince, isn't it? Yeah.
Everything involving that, right?
The panic I read briefly on Twitter yesterday when it was like, the investigation's over, and some idiot fans were like, cool, does that mean he's coming back? I was like, what? Yeah. How is that what you take from this? But thankfully, I think I read subsequent reports that seem to suggest
he's done.
Yeah, he's done. Done, I think was the phrase actually used.
From Fightful, yeah.
But I'll be honest.
Shouts to Sean.
There's still nearly 2 months left in this year. It might not have happened yet.
Yeah.
The way this year's gone, I wouldn't be surprised if CM Punk shows up at War Games and dethrones Roman Reigns.
And puts a bid over his head on Vince McMahon somehow.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Io Shirai spot then. I got really excited. The best spot in War Games history for my money.
I think that the Vince story is the biggest one, but you could mention Cody. That would be fair. Like an AEW EVP cross. That's huge. Steve Austin wrestled this year. Like there's a lot. You're right. It's a stupid year. I've loved covering it. I've loved this year from our job standpoint.
Yeah.
It's been a lot at times, like today. But yeah, it's Vince, like the allegations, the idea of him ever stepping down during my lifetime. Or during, before he was unable to do it, for whatever reason, was unthinkable. And it took these allegations, obviously. Look, he paid out close to $20 million in hush money. This investigation has now cost WWE a further $19.4 million. Crazy. Our final question.
Wild.
Sound a bit different.
Go on.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought it said Oven Warlord.
I like that as a name.
Pizza Chief. It's Owen Warland. Sorry, Owen. Matt Cardona is having a renaissance on the indie circuit.
I've seen.
He has reinvented himself and revitalized his course to several titles. Could you see him fitting into AEW's roster or returning to WWE?
Well, I think you have to look at which company most needs such a baby face as Matt Cardona right now. Look, I think this character, even with Triple H at the helm, doesn't work in WWE because I just don't see them doing the right things for Cardona. He'd end up being like, yeah, I'm so bloody great, and have the 24/7 title or something. I think AEW's the place for him to be. I think he could interact. He's been there before, of course. He could be a cheeky scamp and say, I'm doing this for my good friend Cody, and all that bollocks. I think he'd be great in AEW, but he's doing fantastic stuff elsewhere. Please do go and check him out because he has been over the last few years, he's just been one of the best things.
He has come out of that company under disappointing circumstances, reinvented himself, and absolutely killed every single aspect. I have nothing but admiration for what Matt Cardona has done. Also, check out Simon Miller's interview.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Greatest interview of all time. For my answer, I think that my favourite stuff from Matt Cardona has actually been when he was in GCW, and he was like the antithesis. He was the sports entertainment. He was the woo-woo-woo guy coming into your deathmatch promotion and being a dick, and then he got his comeuppance. I think that would work quite well in AEW. I think the idea of him coming in and going, hey, call this a wrestling promotion. I know we're doing sports entertainment stuff with the JAS, but Cardona's got a bit of a different flavour to it. I think it would work. I will say, however, that I would be very interested to see how this character works in Triple H's WWE.
Yes.
And I think he would have a fairer chance.
Yes, it's a very different, if this question had been asked a year ago, I'd have gone, there's literally only one place you can go. There's a chance it works in WWE, I just think it'd be better in AEW.
And shout outs to Cardona, by the way, revealing himself this week as the real big money Matt in pro wrestling. This year, he's made more money than he did at any year in his WWE run, he said on the Nut Sam podcast. So, yeah, he's killing it. He doesn't need a contract.
No.
He's killing it.
Right, let's quickly wrap up with the and finally, and I just thought I'd put something nice in here because it's been a wild old week. Congratulations to Sheamus on getting married.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to say congratulations. The photos of this have been all over social media for quite some time. They look amazing. Sheamus, Drew, Cesaro, or Claudio, I should say, Miro, and a couple of other mates, one of which I feel like has been in wrestling as well. I did feel bad for them when they were like, right, come on lads, we're all going to get our thighs out. Imagine if you're there with Drew and Miro and all the rest of them. Sorry, we're going to do what?
Yeah, who am I?
Like next photo, lads, we're all going to flex.
Yeah.
You turn the piss here, lads.
Congratulations.
But yes, congratulations. Lovely
news
to see. And yeah, Sheamus is having a great time in everything.
Great year, great personal life by the sounds of it. Great man.
Great
man.
colour hair.
I've got, let me tell you, if we did, we're going to recreate that photo with the thighs at my wedding, because we are going to wear kilts.
Yes, that would really work. Hang on.
I am going to ruin all of you. My thighs are like Canadian redwoods.
There's you, there's me. Who's got like a long, Nicholas can grow those long flowing locks out again, can't he?
Well, I'm not sure if I can let the English guys wear kilts, but, we'll figure it out.
You're right with me, old boy. I'll fit in. Everyone will think, oh, who's Andy Scottish, mate? He must know him from Aberdeen or something. I'll go in and they'll go, how do we know you're really Scottish? And I say,
Crikey.
Rangers. And they say, hey, you're alright. Sorry, Nicholas. We did so well there.
Oh, God. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst Barmy Army is going to come for you, man.
Hey, the record-breaking Rangers, I've heard.
Yeah, man.
No records that you want to break, though.
Yeah.
Unlucky. My team's non-league, so what are you going to say? Right, do we wrap up?
Yeah, please.
It's been a wild day of news today. I wouldn't be surprised we're going to be back in here later on today, the way this day's going.
Oh, I've got 4 hours of meetings today.
Oh, boy. Right, let us know your thoughts on everything. Comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. We're going to have to try and talk about this Dynamite with myself and the Dudley Boys later on today.
2-hour podcast, baby.
Yes, at WhatCulture WWE on Twitter, where you can also send us the wacky stuff, because tomorrow's Wacky Friday,
yes.
Of course. You can find Andy Murray on Twitter
at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for help me.
You can follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to the YouTube community for their questions. And we will see you soon.